Good afternoon, everybody. It's the media guy back with another movie review. And today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on a movie that I haven't watched for the first time until now called Topsy-Turvy. So what is this movie all about? See what critics and theater audience are raving about in the most talked about and critically acclaimed film of the year. Topsy-Turvy, winner of the 2 Academy Awards, this delightful film filled with great music and outstanding performances, and was chosen by 23 film critics as one of their top films of 1999. Tensions abound and the music swells in the story of the famous musical team of Gilbert and Sullivan. The two men who were extremely different in size and stature are even more different in temperament and style. Yet they still manage to create memorable theater. This is the story of the making of one of the most famous collaborations, the Mikado, which I'm guessing is a Japanese type show. Topsy-Turvy was directed by Oscar nominee Michael League and stars Jim Broadbent, Alan Cordern, sorry if I'm pronouncing their names wrong, Timothy Spall, and Leslie Manville. Topsy-Turvy will captivate and leave you humming a long after it's over. Not gonna lie, this is a pretty interesting movie. This is quite a very interesting and fascinating movie. We actually get to learn a little bit of history about who Gilbert and Sullivan are. Guess they're like this, I guess back in the 1880s, they're like this musical theater duo who created all sorts of shows during their time. Now, to be fair, I don't know much about them, considering how I didn't watch a lot of documentaries about their lives as well, theater experts. But I assume they must be pretty cool guys. In fact, the only time I was somewhat aware of Gilbert and Sullivan in general was them somewhat being referenced or parodied in VeggieTales, Kyle the Kindly Viking, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I know about Gilbert and Sullivan. And honestly, this movie is quite fascinating. I do like how all the cast and crew members of each show, including Gilbert and Sullivan themselves, are rehearsing and putting on some fantastic musicals for the audience to enjoy, which I will admit that is pretty cool. And I guess back in the 1880s, I guess the theater history goes way, way, way back. Which I guess that makes sense. I kind of wish my drama club in my old high school played this movie several times, because this probably would have been a very interesting movie for my class, as well as a bit of a good subject to talk about. Considering how this is sort of like watching a bit of a history lesson about who Gilbert and Sullivan are. And not gonna lie, based on the title alone, this type of movie would have made you think that this would have been like some kind of satire / spoof made by Mel Brooks or something. Which I assume that based on what you guys think, that probably would have been the case, but not really. I guess there are a few raunchy jokes and a few swear words from time to time. And so don't worry, they weren't like over the top or anything. And not gonna lie, honestly didn't even notice the R rating on the VHS tape. Can you even see it? Yeah, right there. And I just assumed that this was like rated PG or PG-13 or something. And I can't be right all the time, you know? And I'm guessing the cast and crew really had to do their best to do a lot of research on who Gilbert and Sullivan are. Which, that is totally understandable. Even the actors playing Gilbert and Sullivan themselves managed to do a very decent job doing their own portrayal of Gilbert and Sullivan. Imagine Gilbert and Sullivan's descendants watch this movie and how it's a good representation of their ancestors. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I was related to, like, Gilbert and Sullivan. Probably on either side of my dad's family. Although it would be pretty epic, you know. I do like how it takes place in 1880s England, United Kingdom. Because back in the 1880s, there weren't any fancy cars, and no technology and whatnot, including vacuum cleaners or anything. It was mostly like horses and carriages. As for transportation, and well, it kind of reminds me of a Christmas Carol. Since that movie takes place sometime around in the 1880s of the United Kingdom or something. Although I could be wrong, though. I honestly think, I'm sorry if I can't think of anything else to say about this movie, but I guess it is pretty enjoyable for any theater fans alike, including me. And this was like a VHS tape that I bought like probably maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I don't know, I lost track of time. And honestly, I guess I did have a little bit of fun with this movie. So overall, Topsy-Turvy is a decent movie to enjoy. And yeah, I'm sorry if I can't think of anything else to say, but I did my best to describe this movie as best as I can. So I'll give this movie 5 stars out of 5. Even though on the VHS release of this movie, Michael Wilmegaton of Chicago Turbine gave it 4 stars out of 5. Which that is totally respectable in my opinion. Well, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and do you guys have any fond memories of this movie? Just let me know down in the comments below.